Okay, this video is meant to help you understand how to solve rational equations in a sort of basic form. One form of a rational equation is essentially a proportion. So you'll notice that each of the examples on the screen each have an x value or a variable in the denominator, and they're all essentially proportions. They're all a ratio equal to another ratio, or a fraction equals a fraction. There's no addition going on outside of our fractions or other things happening. So the basic simple way of solving them, the classic way sort of how many people have learned it, is what's called cross-multiplying. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our function and say, well, on this function here on the left, if I have a 4 in the denominator of the right side of my equation, essentially I would love to multiply by 4 in order to cancel those 4's. So I'm also going to multiply by 4 on the left side. But while I'm at it, if I have an x in the denominator on the left side, I'd also multiply by x on both the right and the left as well, which basically is going to cancel the x's on the left side. We'll cancel that away with this, and we'll cancel the 4's on the right side. And essentially what happens is you end up multiplying x times negative 3, so you get your negative 3x. And you also, on the left side, end up multiplying your 4 times your 2, and essentially end up at 8. Then we can divide by negative 3, and x equals negative 8/3, and you have your answer. And of course you can always double check that answer. 2 divided by negative 8/3 is just like saying 2 times a negative 3/8, which would be negative 6/8, which is the same thing as negative 3/4. And negative 3/4 is what we were equal to over on the right side. So that does work. Remember to circle your actual final answer. So a little trouble with these signs there. And you have your solution. Now that also works when you have larger polynomials inside of your proportion. So again, we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to take that negative 2, multiply it by x plus 1 from the right side, and I'm going to take the 1 from the top on the right side, and I'm going to multiply it by the x plus 3. On the left side. Do a little distributing. Negative 2x minus 2 equals 1 times x plus 3. And then you notice you just have a linear equation. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract x from the right side, call it negative 3x on the left, and I'm going to add this 2 from the left side, call it a 5 on the right. Divide again. And you've got your answer. And again, you can always take that number and plug it back in. That'd be a great time to possibly pop it in the calculator. You can put your negative 5/3 plus 3. Remember to put a set of parentheses around that denominator. Make sure it handles the entire denominator before it divides. But I'm fairly confident that that's going to work. And if it's a larger polynomial, again, still continue with cross multiplying. So x squared plus 4x times 1 is equal to 3 times that quantity x plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and save a step, and I'm going to distribute 3 times x and 3 times 4. Notice now we're quadratic, so it's not a rational problem anymore, it's a quadratic one. And we want to make sure that we get our problem equal to 0 so that we can decide on a solid method for solving. So let's subtract our 3x and subtract our 12, which means the quadratic formula would be in play. We have a middle term, so I can't use square roots alone. But we could also attempt, at least, if we're lucky, to just factor. It'd be much faster. What multiplies to negative 12, that's going to add to a positive 1. Well, 4 and 3 are only 1 apart. And if I make that a plus 4 and a minus 3, that should FOIL together correctly for us, which means answers of negative 4 and positive 3. Again, remember to take your numbers, plug them back in, mostly because if I take a good look at it, if I plug 3 in, the left side becomes 1/7. And the right side, well, 3 squared is 9, plus 12 is 21. 3 over 21 is 1/7. So that would work. But -4, as soon as I plug it into that left side, is now 1 over -4 plus 4. That will become 1 over 0, which makes this an extraneous solution. I can't divide by 0. So make sure you check your solutions. Some of them will work. Occasionally you might have 2 answers. Occasionally you might have no solution. But you need to check those answers to make sure they really do work. The number one issue you will have occasionally is plugging that number in and making that denominator 0. Hopefully that helps you with cross multiplying and solving rational functions. If you have any questions, make sure you see your teacher. Otherwise, good luck and have a great day.